Former and forever Piston Cup champion Chick Hicks here, coming at you for the first time with a brand new, yes, another brand new series on this YouTube channel. And I'm not alone in this series, as I'm joined by, from time to time, mostly in every single episode in the series, by racing expert and analyst Natalie Certain. Thanks, Chick. This brand new series is mainly focusing on Piston Cup racing. And I'm mainly the one talking about each and every Piston Cup racer statistics for each and every race. And I, 2005 Piston Cup champion, will keep you up to date, telling you the highlights of each and every race from start to finish. Right, we pretty much got everything in this new show out of the way. Let's start talking about what went down in the Piston Cup Clash 2 months ago. Don't remind me of that race. Ugh! I don't ever want to be reminded of that race ever again. But for your own sake and this car's sake, this racing expert's sake, let's start talking about it. The torture I'm going back through. There were a total of 15 racers in that race under the bright lights at the impressive Florida International Speedway. Well, at least I started on the inside row in row 1. Another torture about that race, I had to start right next to a freaking old-timer who is freaking outdated, who shouldn't be racing, who should have retired many years ago. Okay, moving on. In the very beginning of the race, Lightning McQueen made contact with both Dale Karchip and moving on. While Doc Hudson was leading, Brick Yardley, who was also fighting for the win, hits the yellow line, which sends him out of control, smacking the outside wall. At the end of segment 1, the Hudson Hornet, won by Kyle Weathers, by just a fender. The beginning of segment 2 had a lot of different leaders. 2 of those being Lightning McQueen and Strip Weathers, aka the King, who were one of those leaders, leading those laps in the closing laps of segment 2. But it was all Kevin Harvick who was declared the winner in the clash. Another torture I would like to point out from that race, Natalie Certain almost said my name a few seconds ago. Not a few seconds ago. Let's just go a second ago. Hey, don't make fun of me by just saying that, whatever I just said. But I wrecked out because Lightning McLoser turned me and Daryl Karchip, and we both wrecked. Yeah, not a good start for the Chickster, I know. But it was just a non-points race, so I'm not going to sweat it. But in the Florida 500, which is the next race, which is round 1 of the season, out of 9 races, that's where it all counts. Lightning McQueen and Dale Earnhardt Jr. finished 2nd and 3rd when the checker flag flew in segment 2. Speaking of those 2, let's take a look at their statistics heading to the Florida 500 at Florida International Speedway. Lightning McQueen started the clash in 3rd place. He placed 3rd in the first segment and placed 3rd again when the checker flag flew in the final segment. With Lightning McQueen's impressive run in the clash and his impressive 2nd place in a recent World Grand Prix race, his chances of winning the Florida 500 is 40.5%. That race, watch me beat that McLoser in that race. Well, I'm going to wreck him if I see him in the lead. I'm going to wreck him so bad because there's going to be a lot to pay. That's all I'm saying. Speaking of you, Chick Hicks, with you attempting to wreck drivers, your chances of winning the race is 43.9%. Will you look at that? I have a higher chance of beating Lightning McQueen in the race. The upcoming Florida 500 at Florida International Speedway will have a total of 3 rookies competing for the win, not to mention the championship. Speaking of the championship, watch me win another Piston Cup trophy, but the first time winning one as a die-cast replica. Say, Natalie, if you don't mind me asking, what are the 3 rookies in the Florida 500 that I'm going to be racing against? Well, chick, the 3 rookies that will be competing for the championship in the Florida 500 are Jackson Storm, who are one of the favorites. Another favorite to watch is Cruz Ramirez, sponsoring Team Dynaco. And another, Chase Racelet. Those are one of the 3 rookies competing for the championship, but those 3 I just said are competing for the first win in the Florida 500. And if they do win, it will be one of the huge upsets in Piston Cup history. Wow. Has Lightning McQueen done that before? Winning a race in his first start? No, he did not. It all began in 2004. He raced in a few races here and there. And correct me if I'm wrong, but he made a total of 5 starts in 2004 and won one of those 5 races in his 5 starts in that year. And in 2005, he ran full-time in Piston Cup racing. Okay, here's the good news and bad news about that year. The good news is, this guy right here, which is me, Chickster, number 86er, won the championship. Why do you think it says former and forever Piston Cup champion on each side of me? 2005 Piston Cup champion forever. So yeah, that was the good news. The bad news is, well, maybe for those Lightning McQueen fans, he screwed up twice by making the terrible strategy, staying out, not taking tires, and lo and behold, he blows out both left and right rears. Strip and I caught up to him. I could have had the race in the bag, but Strip and I, we were too close to call. What was his name? Bob Couples. Thank you. And Dale Carter saying that it's too close to call. And McQueen, he shouldn't be in victory lane to begin with for that night. I think the officials got too carried away and went way over the top when they think Lightning McQueen was one of those guys at the line with his tongue out. Like, why? And if I didn't have the speed to catch up to Lightning McQueen, if I didn't wreck out that old timer that day at LA in the same year, he would have won the championship, but nope. For some reason, he stops just an inch from the start-finish line, which will give me the victor. Well, chick, before we close off this episode, let's go with our top 2 picks for this race. And it will be like this for the following 9 races in the Piston Cup Racing Series this season. If you ask who my pick is, my picks are Dale Earnhardt Jr. and please say me, and you too, chick. Hey, Kachiga. Want to know who my picks are? My top 2 picks? Myself and I. Haha. Well, that ought to do it for this episode of Chick's Picks with Chick Hicks. This is 2005 Piston Cup champion and racing expert and analyst, saying goodbye and good night, and we'll see you in the next episode.